Imperial, one of probably my favorite isle in the game. You got the flag that's outside the base, which is really causes a lot of different interesting play.
Let's take a look at the time. I'm at 25.
Yep.
As am I.
Okay, good. Alright, so let's take a look at the builds real quick. Stonebender House Mafia is running triple dervishes. I'm gonna guess that's double Beth and one Ebon Doth. No, double Beth and one Lissa? No, one Beth and double Lissa. And Basil's Detective Agency also running triple dervish. We have one Balthazar, double Balthazar, and one
Ebon
Doth. Okay. So there are two variants of the triple dervish. One is running a Ranger Necro line with, what was that, some sort of signet? Signet is suffering.
No,
And
that was switched with Barb Signet. It's pretty much your traditional blood magic necromancer.
So,
yeah.
what
Go
signet of suffering did?
It's basically exactly Barb's signet. It became an elite.
Oh, okay. It just got promoted.
It got promoted. And their
Okay,
Ranger
and
Mesmer, I believe, has Blackout for Basil's, while Stonebender's Mesmer is a Mantra of Recovery illusion guy, so he's spamming Frustration, Fragility, and the dual snares, the dual burdens.
I'm not seeing a lot of hex coverage. You got the one on the monk that's getting trained. I imagine that's the entire purpose.
Pretty much. The only hexes you're going to see on those dervishes are going to be the snare. Both teams right now just taking obscene
The
pressure.
heal monk going down fine after getting trained for a very long time. Taking a long time to get back up. Stop Flaming is in a lot of danger. Eating some Illusion of Pain damage.
Seth Fleming's running Armor of Sanctity on his monk. Very
Oh my
interesting.
gosh, and
Down
Stonebender
goes
is
the
also
Mesmer.
melting. We got mutual melting going on both sides of the map here. We've got number one Dervish getting counter-trained by Ebon Doth. He's sitting there on the shield set, kiting around, not really mitigating much damage this way.
Usually Imperial traditionally has been not great for lots of melee pressure simply because you can spread out, but with these dervishes able to cripple all the time, it sort of negates that openness that this map has.
It's interesting. Oh my gosh, that was so close. Another death on the heal monk. Just barely avoiding that. Looks like he's got some sort of shield spell. He's taking 0 damage.
You see the
both
flag
teams
right
under
now
a
for
lot of
Basil, holding the flag right next to the flag stand, waiting until the last moment to cap, trying to keep the weapons on their monks to try to negate pressure so that they can hopefully get a wipe.
Yeah, SC is already completely head on flags, but they just double monk.
Just got stuffed from under. This dervish is gonna go down soon thereafter. No, not quite.
Such a back
That
and
was
forth
big.
offensive affair here. The monks in
man.
trouble again. They've been res, but they're taking it again from this
Yeah,
dervish.
even through Dark Escape here on number 7, he's still eating a ton of damage. Lots of poison being spread. That's the primary difference I'm seeing here. Lots of poison on Stonebender House Mafia and not so much on Basil's Detective Agents. This Ranger is, in fact, running over to play the flag, which I'm not sure. I mean, normally that's a good play, but like, how urgent is this flag play? And we've got people coming
Well,
up here.
I
dealing
think
with
it's a traditional play in that.
Down again.
Oh, he's down again. I was gonna say it usually gets the Necro off your team so that at least you can kind of trade and not
And
take as
dervish
much
down.
damage. But it's just they're just taking so much damage right now from these dervishes.
It looks like they're having a hard time racing. We had a death pact on number 2 interrupted, and he's waiting to do it again. And right after time, this monk number 7 goes down. That is huge. That may actually spell an early GG. Mesmer after 12 in a terrible res position, and everyone is just falling back. They're going to have to concede the front MCs, and Mr. Diffuse is also down. So that's 2 out of 3 monks. They're not even gonna go for these. They're just moving straight in. They're going for the throat here, and just in full retreat here, completely routed. Number 1 Dervish leaving out the back door, attempting to do something, trying to divert some of this damage outside of his base, but I don't think it's going to work. They're just totally ignoring everything. They smell blood. They just want to end this.
Yeah, it's a good play. They don't need to get those front NPCs if they feel like they're not going to be able to end this game, which I think they have a good shot of doing. If they don't feel like they can end it, they can just kill them on the way out.
Right, and we have one Dervish determined to put pressure on the existing monk. It's Grasping Earth, kited down. The existing monk is just doing what he can, but he's at RC, and the bodyguard just goes down easily. We have one Dervish on the Guild Lord with a knight on him, and actually, they left and got the monks rezzed, it looks like, and now they're going to move back in and try to keep this from ending too early. But
Yeah.
at this point, one knight down, and, well, bodyguard down, both knights down, both NPCs are plummeting here, and looking at the other side of the map, we have Diffuse here, trying to move a flag, I suppose, 32 seconds till boot.
With the monk runner on Stonebender, there is no way they can fight 8v8 anymore since they have a monk runner. They have to try to force this into a skirmish game if they want to, once they res, if they want to even try to compete with it.
Yeah, but that's a very bleak sort of proposition because they're missing pretty much all the boat NPC. They managed to keep that res from going through, but, you know, to what effect? You know, not at the base keeping people up. They did prevent Basil's detective agent from recouping res sigs, but I believe all those deaths that they took may have erased pretty much all the DP that Basil's may have taken prior to the big wipe here. And they're actually under a decent amount of pressure getting pushed out of the base.
Yeah.
But once again, playing with the comfort of knowing that this boat is completely barren. Oh, lots of pressure on that attempted... I don't know if that was a body block. Triple dervish body block. I don't think that was a good choice.
Definitely not a fan of body blocking when you're facing 3 dervishes. And that's part of why the flag pushing metas faded away.
They're still not recovered.
Yeah, they're not looking good right now. Weapon spells on both monks though, so they have better recovery power.
Well, if Basil's got anything going for them, it's that they have to get this flag in, and this number 8 is moving to get that done. He's sort of pausing. We have a death on the dervish number 3, recently rezzed, puts up Evan Dust and starts linebacking again. Fuse, grabbing that. Oh my gosh, damage on this number 3 again, and he's down again. I don't know if that was too soon to get.
I think that was too soon for DP.
It may have been too soon, but you know what? That still recoups DP for Stonebender. And, you know, you just see that they've got a terrible result.
Gosh,
a double kill with the death pack.
Oh.
So, wow, just unrelenting here, and they're just going to have a hard time pushing up to get this res, and it looks like they're just going to have to make do without the dervishes. They're going to have to base res in 30 seconds, but that's a long time to concede, you know, middle map control.
Yeah, and the Rit runner for Barcode is away from stand too, so these monks have no weapon, and they are taking a ton of...
But these monks are just getting super trained with 0 inhibition. Oh my gosh, and he's dead. One monk down, other monk is getting headed off. Now he's... wow.
He is caught up
we're going to see a big
now.
base rip.
That was a big mistake by the flagger for Basil's. He needed to be with his monks there.
Yeah, and this ranger looks like he's going to go down after time. Or... yeah, there he goes. And this Rit is in a bit of a difficult position. No, I guess not.
But because of that mistake by the Rit, the pendulum is like really swung back, so they're at least even, if not SC having an advantage at this.
Well, they still have to get this flag. It looks like he's just gonna go for it. He's just Pac-Manning over to the flag stand, and
that grasping Earth is gonna be huge now that is on the Stonebender's range. He's got grasping and crypt shot, really snaring.
This is still an uphill battle for Stonebenders, don't be mistaken. It looks like we're going to set up a body block here at the flag stand. Again, body block versus dervishes, it's a very difficult endeavor. And you can see Stonebenders starting to take a bit of pressure. And once again, though, that monkish is really working. This Rit is really determined to get this flag, and he's going to circle around, go for a little maneuver.
Stonebenders can't
he's got plenty,
keep this
unless
up
he
for
dies
25
here,
more seconds.
very close, he's going to get this flag. Ton of pressure on Stone. That was a huge gambit. It looks like it's going to backfire them really explosively. And they did overcap, though, so that Rit might decide to go after he gets that spirit down. Lots of pressure on this team, though. Lots of damage.
The party morale is actually almost even at this point. Little edge for Basil is probably about 2-4 DP total.
It's exactly even, it looks.
That is quite something that they've made such a comeback, but you can't discount the fact that all those boat NPCs are down. And what little aggression that they've gotten through is still going to count in terms of a late game strategy. You know, it's going to fall on Stonebender to take the initiative, and that's asking a lot for a map like this. Is really huge, and it's really easy to see where people are trying to go.
Well, and it's still coming down to what Hate said earlier, where I
Oh my
mean,
gosh.
because Stonebenders has the Monk Flare,
Number
it's gonna
7
be...
monk. Oh, that was so close.
Both monks are taking, and both teams are taking...
And number 3 Dervish again. You know, he died on Scythe. Polly would be so disappointed. And looks like we're gonna see backline wipe again. Rit is down without... Oh, he did get the flag, and then he died right afterward. And
This
it
monk
looks
is
like
so
this is
low.
interesting.
Oh.
Something changed between the 8v8 fight at the start of the game and the 8v8 fight, you know, after they started, you know, after the base res then recouped, and just... What do you suppose that is that really swung the momentum around here?
It looks like just they were able to kill that number 3 Dervish on Basil's over and over again. I didn't see his first death, but after that they just kept killing him. I don't know if he was out of position. I mean, I know you're saying sight set, but him constantly dying, he seems to be a big part of their defense. He goes down and the rest of their team just drops really quickly afterward.
Yeah, if anyone, you would figure the guy with the AoE blind around himself would be the least likely to die, but, you know, he's the one carrying the most of their DP here. And contrary to Basil's, Stonebender's taking a bit more of a conservative approach. They did run past these footies, but instead of wiping the boat NPCs, they're focusing more on the players, trying to get more DP, I suppose. They've got the Knights balled up here, and that is always a pleasant sight if you're a Dervish.
The problem is that they're gonna have to fall back out through those footies. I guess they're cleaning up the footies, but
Yeah,
they're still gonna be in a lot of
about
position.
15
like,
seconds.
Yeah, 15 seconds. They're gonna get rezzed on in the NPC, and just like SC pushed Basil's out when they were trying to pull out of
One
NPCs,
night
you could see the same thing, except in.
Yeah, looks like they're gonna go ahead and fall back early. I don't see anyone crippled. Number 2 is actually crippled, and they're gonna have to pick up that slack. They're gonna have to remove that, or... Well, the one thing that Stonebender is not doing is trying to body block that entrance. You know, you sort of have a grasping earth. They're definitely gonna boost here, and that's gonna be huge considering that no one has boosted so far, and Stonebenders is gonna have all their SIGs back. But the trade-off is that Basil has their base, so we might actually see this game evolve from 8v8 to something else as Basil considers how to, or perhaps whether they can beat these guys 8v8 anymore.
I mean, every 8v8 attempt has really seemed kind of on the edge. Like, in a matter of seconds, either team could wipe, and it really just comes down to who's wiping first. And I don't know, maybe they'll try and decide that they don't want to play the match anymore, where they could just kind of risk. Right now they just seem to be kind of stalling, trying to wonder what to do.
Do you think they should just walk out and fight again? I mean, I really feel like that monk runner is just not as good as the Rit runner, but if they're just gonna die before it becomes a fact. But I mean, this Rit inside their own base is gonna be able to get up spirits that aren't gonna be touched by Stonebenders, so I feel like they can just kind of walk forward at a conservative rate and just kind of start pushing them back.
I mean, before Basil's wipe that second time, you saw Stonebenders taking a lot of pressure, and it just really the reason they didn't wipe was because they got the monk train. So I think if they wanted to, Basil's could push out with Rit support, but it's going to be rough either.
Well, it looks like they're gonna do the push in here. They're feeling confident. They're timing it so that they boost mid-push. We have a... what is that? I don't know what hex was just put on that monk number 7 on red.
Likely fragility covered.
Frustration.
He's
Fragility
trying
and
to get these
frustration.
healing bursts out, and it's not really working for him. This monk is getting a lot of damage. They're just sort of crammed into this little corner, and we're going to see a boost for blue in about 5 seconds, and when that happens, we're probably going to see them get, you know, renew their offense. Oh my gosh, and this Dervish just pops on
That's
the
really
side.
unfortunate because Basil's looked like they were gonna get a wave of pressure going, but then they just take the frontline death and kind of eliminated it.
Yeah, I suppose they just decided that they can start spiking dervishes, and you know, that's not that unfounded. I mean, I would have hesitated to, you know, pick the blind dervish to spike, but apparently it's working for them. This Resurrection Signet is having a hard time getting out on number 3. They want to res him, and it looks like this guy's the only one that's got... I'm going to guess number 2 is the one with the hard red.
Yes, he's the one with
he's
the
the one that died on death pack requirement.
And it was finally D-shotted, that res sig on number 3, so he's back to lineback.
Yeah, he's going to line back
be...
for a little bit, but he's going to have to come back, and that Ranger on Stonebender is just going to be sitting there waiting. And in the meantime, they're going to take NPCs, or they're going to pressure characters. Archer looks like it's eating a little damage. Yeah, down it goes. And
the loss of
they're
these
just going to have to keep going without that dirt.
Lots of these NPCs, it kind of took away any advantage that Basil's had, and they're really in a hole.
Yeah, this game has certainly done a huge 180. And forward position by number 6 Monk on Stonebend, throwing on some Pensive Guardians here. That's an interesting transition. I remember back when Melandru Dervishes were really popular that we saw Pensive Guardian start to enter the metagame, and now it's back, along with the Dervishes.
It's just that need for that prot monk. I mean, you're dropping Aura of Stability now, so you get that free slot to bring an extra prot skill. Pensive Guardian is certainly viable against these Derv trains.
Right. Now, do the Dervishes really depend on their enchantments? Or, against the Pensive Guardian, would a Dervish ever choose to rip his enchantments and attack unimpeded?
With the teardown that's required for most of the scythe skills, that you have to have an enchantment to tear it down, for like your Wearing Strike to do your deep wound, yeah, you really have to have those enchantments up.
Now, tell me how the priority works on a skill like, actually, let's go ahead and catch up on the action, I suppose. That Dervish that was down is now back up, but we saw a death on that range. I'm gonna assume... I'm not sure whether... I think he was res with the res sig.
It was a res sig, yeah, their last res.
I'm not quite sure if that was wise. I would rather have seen him get death packed, in spite of the risk, and save that res sig for the hard res. Or maybe a monk. It seems a bit of a waste, especially in such a desperate situation, to use it on the Ranger. It looks like they're gonna throw a little pressure on that hard res. And it looks like Stonebender is under significant pressure, and they are just going to pull out here.
It's just that Monk Runner does not provide...
really dangerous now, he's dead.
Yeah, that Monk Runner does not provide the sustainability for them to continue pushing into Basil's 8. Like, even though Basil's is taking DP, like, they still output so much damage that Monk Runner is just not enough.
Oh my gosh, are we going to see this game swing around a second time? We have Dark Escape on this this number 6, and they're just run. And you can tell that Basil's is once again reinvigorated by getting a death on the enemy team. You can imagine that it was a bit of a dark spot for him to be in, to be so close to winning it, and then suddenly, pushed all the way back against the ropes. At least they still have their bodyguard and one archer in the boat. But now, you can see that they're really excited to get on the offense again. Lots of, mean health for Stonebender's, around 60%. And Basil's is pretty much full. Unfortunately, they're about to give up a boost. They really can't do anything about that.
No, they need to just keep pushing right now. The pressure is not going to fall off Stonebenders because they have that Monk Runner.
Spike on the range.
Oh, good spike there. That is how they can come back.
And he's up on death. That's true. That they won't be so focused on interrupting these reds. I'm not sure if they threw a prod on that number 2 or not. I mean, that's a pretty key interrupt, knowing that the enemy team has no other reses.
Down goes the flagger.
And, yeah, we're seeing a lot of deaths. It looks like Dervish number 3 is about to eat the... No.
I mean, I hate coming back to it over and over again, but that Monk Runner is hurting Stonebender so much that he's not able to push the bars back up the way that the Rit Runner is, and he doesn't have the weapon spells to prevent the training that the Rit Runner is.
You gotta wonder. He's resorted to dashing up to his teammates in order to mending touch them. Gets chased away by Balther, who's then snared in the back line. Momentum is slowly starting to swing back. Stonebender, I imagine they're feeling stable enough to begin pushing, and we have a flat push for Basil's. Rit is having a hard time getting around this cripple ranger, and starting to get clapped on by a Necro.
Yeah, this
35
is
seconds till.
the
You gotta
problem.
wonder if they're gonna attempt to boost here.
They really needed to run on
Yes.
somebody else, because now with this Rit Runner not able to get his stuff off very effectively, they're
And
taking
base
death.
res. This may be GG.
Yeah, base res
we
on the
have
monk.
a
Flagger
Dervish
down
number 2, the hard
after,
res,
Flaming likely down after as well.
Yeah.
He's so close.
hard res and heal monk have base res, and people are just dropping like flies and are completely out of reach for a resurrect right after the 20-minute mark. This is just huge, and this is definitely not what Basil's needed to get back in this game. And I'm not quite sure what this number 3 is doing. He's just sort of walking to the enemy base. And we have this heal monk. It looks like everyone's just sort of giving up. You see Resign starting to come in now. And it's a minute and 20 seconds of 0 defensive character. Not even the Ebb and Dust is up to play defense now. And you can imagine that's easily bodyguard and the archer. Probably Lord.
Yeah.
I don't think they're even going to go with the Archer. Unless they're really feeling like rubbing it in Basil's face.
Yeah, nobody's even, like, these guys aren't even, they're just AFK now. That was quite the game. I don't even know what to say.
That's triple melee versus triple melee right there, though, Asp. That is, I mean, that's what happens. These teams just output so much damage. You can see that kind of swing. That was really exciting, though, to see Stonebenders come back. Good job to them to come back from such a bleak situation to take
Yeah.
control.
It really is unfortunate for Basils because they looked like they were about to swing the game back again, but then they
I
made the
know, right?
same mistake that they did to wipe the second time when they sent their Rid away to run a flash. And without the weapon spells there, they just wiped. And they were so close to monk wiping SC.
Now you gotta wonder, how valuable do you think the boosts are in stopping your team from wiping, as opposed to keeping your Rit at the stand in order to, just keep the offense alive? Because essentially what happened was that they were losing dervishes. Like, they might lose other characters, but that's primarily because their dervishes are under so much danger.